Hello, good people, and welcome to the Amateur Hour. My name's Justin,
My name's Tyler.
I'm the one called Junior.
and today we're sponsored by EBXYA and Adam Stone. So, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it's been a while. It's been a while since, I've seen you guys. It's been a while since we've recorded the podcast, and there's a lot of new things. For starters, we got the new song, the new official Amateur Hour song written by the one and only Adam Stone, the friend of the show himself. How do you guys feel about this? What's the vibes you're getting from the new song?
I like it.
You like it? You enjoy the new beats?
I enjoyed it a lot. The 3 different ones that he sent. It was hard to pick a official one, but I'm still stuck on the first one. I think it's good.
We definitely had Adam Stone creating a lot of stuff for us, and it was definitely really cool to kind of see him work and figure out the overall feel for what the Amateur Hour is. We also have new art design, and can we even get into the new platforms that we're on? And I said, yes, new platforms. So now we're available on 4 platforms: iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and even SoundCloud. So it's absolutely wonderful. Welcome, everyone. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. You can
So if
go.
you're not going to listen, you have no excuse.
Yes, you can
Yeah, that's
go.
pretty much what I was about to say.
Yes, we're everywhere. We talk about anything and everything, and now we're everywhere. All
Surrounding
at
you.
once.
We're kidnapping your ears.
Yeah, because I don't know. I saw SoundCloud as being retrogressive. I should, I guess that's the word for it. But I don't know. SoundCloud just seems a little outdated to me now. Like I know it was popular at that one point in time when the whole SoundCloud rap became popular and everybody was on it trying to find that. I don't know. I think it's just time to move forward from it.
Yeah, Junior was always the one who was kind of like pushing me to be this like progressive individual that's accepting change and accepting the factor that everyone's on Spotify and even iTunes. And so I was like, you know what?
Well-
why not hop on the train?
We've now officially moved forward in 3 different directions, so we should be good.
It's definitely very exciting. If you guys want to hear any of our old stuff, this is now season 2 of the podcast, but season 1 is still available. And season 1 was a little bit cut up, most definitely, because during the virus we had to figure out how we were going to record, what we were going to do pretty fast. And we ended up recording on Skype. And when we were recording on Skype, we had to upload those videos to YouTube exclusively. So if you're wondering why season 1 kind of ended a bit abruptly on the audio files, well, you could go over to YouTube and catch up. It's okay. We had wonderful guests, and hopefully we're going to bring those guests back pretty soon. I think that'd be absolutely wonderful. But we're also even trying a new layout when it comes to how we do things, how we record. We got Google Docs working. And here's the thing, is that when Rona started, we had to figure out how we're going to give you guys such crisp and clear audio. And let's say that Discord, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this new Discord recording. It's a perfect way to sort of quarantine, but at the same time have such
Discord
clear quality.
is a good platform, but remember that whole mess up with the mics in the beginning?
Yeah.
We got those mics back. I think that's the big key to our sound quality here. We're not Skype through built-in mics anymore. We all got not professional mics, but good mics.
But also, we would have been on Discord sooner. A certain member was fighting against it, saying it was very crappy.
Yes. Tyler was a little bit against it. If not, I was going to record the first time, but I went to Skype. It's okay. It's cool. We're on Discord now. And we're having
I was
fun.
against Discord because at first, the only time I've ever used Discord was an app on my phone, and it was always choppy, and the audio always went in and out, and you always had to ask the guy that you're playing a video game with, hey, what did you just say? On desktop version, not going to happen at all.
But besides that, our flow has probably been a little bit off lately. Because I think when we're all in the studio, we're able to vibe off each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think once the Skype like the Skype sessions kind of hit. It wasn't all there. Definitely with this break in the summer and getting back into it, it's going to take a minute for us to get it back. So bear with us, folks.
So there we go, the official opening to season 2. Welcome to the Amateur Hour season 2, guys.
Yes, I'm very excited for new things happening, and I'm glad to be back. And as I agree with Junior saying, we're a bit rusty. It's been time. Doing this digitally is kind of strange because we don't have, like as Junior was saying, like all those visual cues that we have. But we're going to work through this. So, as soon as we kind of ended the podcast, a lot of things happened.
Summer happened.
About the worst summer you've ever had happen.
But, before we get real quick into what happened this summer, I did want to mention about the layout-wise. We're going to be definitely trying new things when it comes to breaks and when we have little sponsor ads rolling for you guys. So we're kind of breaking it in 2 different increments. So if you guys like that, don't like that, please leave a comment if you're on SoundCloud and or YouTube. So that way we could sort of go back to the 1 break system. But for now, we're going to have 2 break systems. So just be ready for that. Back to the topic at hand. We had a wonderful summer. To say the least. We started off with good old Rona. And we were trying to figure out how to handle quarantine, how to handle Rona. And out of nowhere, this whole Black Lives Matter thing had erupted as soon as we ended the podcast. And to say that we were definitely a little bit disappointed that we kind of missed out on almost having to have a word to say on this. It was just, I don't know, I thought it was absolutely insane, and I kind of wish we were able to offer a bit of take on it, just because it was insane, and I really wanted to say something about it. How exactly did your summer start?
I don't know, just being at home, and then while you're home, you start thinking about doing things to the house. And then that led to like one of the bigger projects that we did, which was buying gravel for our house for the driveway and redoing it. I had to inquire Justin's help for that. That was intense.
A lot of shoveling.
Yeah, definitely a lot of shoveling.
Shoveling, raking, wheelbarrows.
A ton of shoveling and a ton of raking.
Picking at the organics, so we could extend it a little bit.
Yes.
And just trying to get everything nice and even.
Well, Junior, here's
man.
where you messed up. You didn't ask me. I have a 4-wheeler with a plow. Could have moved that rock in a jiff.
It was
Yeah.
That was a fun experience.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't seem that bad. Like, definitely when we got the pile of rock, we're just like, oh, it's not that much. And then you start to get into it, and you're like, oh, yeah, that is a lot.
Once you get it moving, it's not bad, but it's a little irritating to get to that point for sure, because it takes a lot of work to make a pile flat.
Definitely.
Yeah, like Junior kind of, I was surprised when he asked me, I didn't know what was happening. My summer was very bland. I mean, I've been working on a few projects, so just be on the wary of that. But yeah, getting back to, I was doing nothing. Then I get a text from Junior. He's like, "Hey, want to help me lay some gravel?" I was like, "Let me see what's up." I ended up accepting, and he ended up picking me up. And let's just say it was a long and hard work. Because, I get there. It's a whole lot of gravel and a whole lot of driveway that we had to get through. There's a lot of grass kind of in between, and we wanted to clean it up a bit. And we also wanted to clean the grass up a little bit on the sides and make it look very nice gravel driveway. So we got our shovels. We got some, what do you call that, a flattener? It's like got a huge weight to it.
I have no idea. But basically, you're just using it. You're stomping the ground just to flatten it out. Put some weight on it.
Just so that way it's not uneven. It's not wild. We had a wheelbarrow. I can't even speak. And no compactor. No nothing else.
That's what that thing would be called, a compactor.
Did you just have like the big metal square on a stick that you slammed into the ground, or did you have like the motorized one?
Nope, big metal stick.
Former.
old fashioned. We're as old as it can get. So 2 shovels, and we had to like lift this gravel, put it in the driveway, and then we had a rake to lay it out and flatten it. Make sure that we're raking all the rocks around. And
Well, satisfied.
let's just say before we even get to satisfaction, okay, we have to talk about Junior's work ethic here, okay? The man can work and not be tired for hours. You're talking about this kid who, for some reason, right, Junior, I don't know where you get this energy from, but
either.
like, this kid did not stop shoveling once. He did not stop raking, and every time, I'm not gonna lie, it was a while since I was being physical. We had this conversation that like, I wanted to lose weight. I was, which I lost 20 pounds, by the way. But either way, I wanted to lose weight.
In a driveway.
Yeah, I think 15 of it was shoveling. So like I was getting used to having to be now like super physical, heavy weight lifting, all this gravel, laying it out, moving constantly your arms. It was like dead of, heat. It was like a hot summer. And I was like low key dying. And I would have to stop like every 10 seconds. Junior's lovely fiance would bring out like, refreshments for us. And I was the only one eating the refreshments because it was fruit. And I was like, all right, it's going to keep me energized and keep me alive. Junior didn't stop once. He didn't even touch a refreshment. Barely had even water. And I was like, this guy, what is wrong with him? He's built like a machine.
See, that would be me. I'd have to stop for water quite a bit because I sweat my ass off when I think about moving.
Yeah, any normal human would.
Without any of that, I don't know. Junior must...
I just like getting stuff done. Like, it's in front of me. I don't want to do anything till it's done because I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, but it's pressurizing because when I'm over here to help you, I can't be the only guy sitting there eating freaking watermelon while you're freaking raking it all by yourself. I was sitting there like watching this, what do you call this? Like T-1000 Arnold Schwarzenegger looking guy. Just running through with no emotion, lifting rock as, as I'm sitting, like, eating some grapes. I don't think that was necessarily fair. So I felt pressured to constantly keep working. And, like, there were so many times, like, I was just, like, I was waiting for food. I was waiting for any sort of meal. And then, sure enough, we had a nice home-cooked meal after, and I was, like... Then I didn't care. I would sit there for like 30 minutes and just talk. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get up. This kid, and Junior would like eat. He'll stand up, like the robot that he was being. And then he would go straight back to work. I was like, my gosh.
Here's the most important question. Because I know there's a Wendy's right down the road. Is that how you finish the end of your day?
No.
Did you put all the calories right back in?
I kept good. I was like, you know what, no extra calories. And also, I was like, Rona's going around. I don't really feel like doing drive-thru at the time. I was like, nah, this isn't it.
That's what me and Junior did when we went to Imagination Glen. Rode our asses off, worn ourselves completely out, and then stuffed ourselves with Wendy's.
I mean, Wendy's is a hot spot. What can I say? That is delicious food. I could agree with you. Trust me. But you know what? I had a delicious meal when I was there, so I was like nice and full. It was like towards the end of the day, the first time we ate. The second day we ate a little bit earlier, so I had a little bit more energy. I definitely was get a little bit hangry, but see, I was shoveling, so it would all go out.
Process, huh?
It was a 2-day process, yes, and this kid never stopped. But, then we started having some fun. I was trying to charge the wheelbarrow at one point, and I spilled all the rock on the side of the sidewalk. I went from a running charge, and I was like, all right, Junior, watch this. And I was running halfway through. I'm falling. No one helps me. I was like, thanks. Yet one time, Junior was lifting the thing. It was falling over. Who helped him? I think it was me.
I think that was after you, though.
No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Yeah. So yeah, but it was funny. It was funny.
Did you
Yeah.
see Justin doing something clumsy, it's kind of entertaining just to watch.
I have to admit myself, it was definitely pretty entertaining to do. But at the same token, it hurt. Like,
I can imagine you being the same way as remember when we lost control of the lawnmower flying down the hill and you happened to be in the wagon getting dragged.
yeah, and you didn't stop.
It was still funny as hell though.
I was screaming at you and just being dragged all the way
Catch
down.
that story in a previous podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Which
sure
one? I don't know.
one of the episodes. I almost forgot we did talk about that, so I'm glad you reminded me, Junior. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
never forget an episode. Yeah, go down and never miss an episode on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Yeah, you know what? Being dragged like that was crazy. But either way, back to the story at hand. Also, you know, I was working, I was tired. So that going back to like with the tools, I was using this flattener, right? And I was flattening the ground. And I was tired, right? Junior's robot. I'm human. I'm trying to live my life.
Wait, let me guess. It
This-
found your foot.
This big old fat boy. And yeah, it found my foot. And, you know, let's just say I have a bruise still on my big toe from when I smashed my foot. Here's the thing, though. I didn't feel it.
Broke your toe.
I was
No, what I think happened is I think he has a blood blister that he's got to pop.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know how I would do that when it's under the nail, but you know, it's fantastic.
You kind of don't.
So like, yeah, I was, you know, I was going about the work and I ended up hitting my toe. Here's the thing though, I didn't even realize it, right? I was so tired. I was so sore. At least my feet were the only thing sore. Like my arms was fine. I was telling Junior, my hand a little bit was sore, but like my rest of my body was pretty decent except my feet. And I thought it was because I was flat-foot that my feet were hurting, and it was like
Meanwhile, Junior over here just being a machine. I'm completely fine.
yeah. And here's the thing: is like I didn't realize this like bruise or whatever on my toe, like until like a couple days later, and I showered and everything. And for some reason, I did not look at my foot to see, what is that? It was like one day it was hurting, and I was like, what the heck? And I looked down, and I was like, bruh, I know where this is from. And I waited so long to tell Junior about this, too, until like literally maybe like a day before this podcast. I was like, I got to tell Junior. I almost forgot. And I was like, my toe almost fell off at your house. But needless to say, you know, we had fun doing the driveway, and I think it came out good. What's your feeling? I know Tyler asked you earlier, but I think now's the time. Tell us, did you like the work that was done, and how would you rate your experience of me working from like 1 to 10?
10 out of 10. It's a very difficult situation to do work with a friend because either you guys end up just bullshitting around or the friend doesn't want to work, but you don't want to tell them anything. But we were able to combine both and just, I don't know, it was an enjoyable experience for me. Hopefully it was for you too.
It definitely was. I came in there, I was like, all right, let's do this, this, and this. I was like, Junior, what are we going to do? I never laid gravel a day in my life. Tell me. I mean,
and I was like, me neither.
I've done like small projects similar to it with my father, but like nothing like that. So I was like, all right, what are we doing here? And we devised a plan. And I think, yeah, we did definitely really some good. And then we were joking. I think at one point we were shoveling at night, and then we had to amp ourselves up. So I like tried getting myself pissed off, and then I started like shoveling like a madman. And then Judy's like, "All right, I think we're done for the day." I was like, "Come on!"
I just got going again.
You find that groove, and when you find that groove, you can't stop, man.
Yeah, and at that point, like that mound though, that was like the biggest mound alive. And at first it looks tiny. We were like even saying like it might not be enough, like we might have to get more. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to come back and help. Like it's cool, it's whatever. Like let's keep it going. And unfortunately, you know, it just Or actually, fortunately, it was enough. But my goodness, I did have a blast doing it. I would rate my experience 10 out of 10 too, minus the almost fainting because I never had a break.
Well, if I ever have to lay a driveway or do anything, I know who to call. It's going to be you guys.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's
We have
different
the
when it's your
experience.
own house, man. I don't know. I don't know if I could find the same groove.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest.
So, Tyler, tell us what happened in the summers of your summer.
Oh, well, let me tell you. We canceled just about everything we had planned so far. Nothing went through because of obvious reasons. COVID sucks. I've been working 90 to 100 hours, sometimes a little bit more on average. So the time off is like non existent. And I went from 410s to 5/8s, and the 5/8s turned into 5/12s or 5/14s. So, yeah. That's basically my summer. We tried to go on some bike riding. We actually went on quite a few bike rides, just, normal bike path, nothing crazy like Imagination Glen or anything. But then it started getting really hot, and yeah, I don't think any of us are going to be riding a bike when it's that hot and humid. So that kind of ended. Basically, it's just been getting home from work, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, sometimes a little later, watch some movies, maybe play a video game, get bored out of my mind, go to sleep, do it all over again the next day. I really don't have a whole lot to explain as far as enjoying myself, because that's basically it. Work, 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 and yeah, life of an essential worker, pretty much.
It doesn't sound like too bad of a summer. I mean, it definitely
Yeah,
sounds
it
fairly
wasn't
interesting.
terrible. It's just it exploded out of nowhere. Like, I can't say it was bad, but it was definitely different.
Yeah, I can imagine the change you would have to do going from a couple hours and then all of a sudden like ramping up with the amount that you're actually working. It must have been rough in that certain time.
Well, in the beginning, like before COVID, when it was just like starting to come up, I was working my 10-hour shift. It was a little bit slow, so sometimes I was only doing 8 or 9 hours, and then I was going home early, and then I had Tuesday off, so I'm like, cool, it's Saturday night, walking into a 3-day weekend, and all of a sudden I get this message from my boss, and it's like, hey, I don't know when, but we might move you to 5/8. And here's the thing: they told me it was to reduce my exposure time, which doesn't make any sense because I'm by the hour and it was still 40 hours, and now it's a lot more than 40 hours. But besides the point, getting that message, and I'm like, well, maybe it won't actually be that bad. And then it finally comes around. He changes my schedule. He tells me it's going in effect on beginning of next week or whatever. So I'm like, oh, cool. I set my alarm for Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock instead of 8:45, and then get up for work, go. The first week is like, I maybe did 7-ish, 8-ish hours a day. Wasn't really nothing. Second week, same thing. Third week, all of a sudden, it was when they started shutting things down like crazy. Everything hit the fan. And then right there, it was just like, boom, you are out for 9-10 hours a day. And then it got a little bit worse. And then it was like, we're essential workers. So you can take a furlough and not get paid, but you don't have to go to work. Or if you want to get paid, you can work a shit ton. And then some people chose to take furlough. So I was doing my job plus a little bit more work, because there was 3 people taking furlough that I was taking load off of.
Nice.
And then it just started going crazy. And furlough ended a while back, so it started getting back to normal. But now we just got into the not end of the summer, I guess. One of our employees was planning on retiring. So he has retired. And so now I've been pushed back into getting a little bit more load because we got to carry the load off him. And then we hired a new person. I've been training her. So this last week or two has actually been great, because I started out just showing her what to do. And the whole last week, I did nothing. I just said, here's the job, finish it. But that was her decision. She wanted to be 100% hands-on. So I was like, you know what? Cool. I'll let you do that. So I basically checked on her I was obviously with her, but I just let her do her thing and not to be looking over her shoulder. But basically, that's what I was doing. I was just there to tell her when she was messing up. That's going to make me feel a little bit more confident, especially with the work life and over the summer, because she's actually pretty damn good. So hopefully that's going to help us all out a lot.
Yeah,
But it's my summer, man.
it's good to hear you're catching loads, man. But
Thanks, Junior.
you kind of touched on riding bikes, and that was kind of something I wanted to get into. Was
Oh yeah,
just,
go for it.
Did you guys get any new hobbies or habits during all this?
New hobbies or habits?
Like for me, I definitely been trying to ride my mountain bike a little bit more, trying to learn guitar, trying to learn Spanish. Started getting into coffee, started ordering beans, grind them up, do a whole process. Yeah, this quarantine has been driving out a bunch of weird stuff for me.
So I have been trying to ride my bike as much as possible, but like I said, the heat and humidity, I just can't do it when the feels like is at 100 degrees and then you get like this 90 or above humidity. But I have been trying to ride as much as I want, or as much as I can, I mean. But I will say, one of the things that I've gotten into, I've always liked Legos, but now that we haven't been able to go out and do a whole bunch of stuff, I've been buying more and more Legos. So I have like a $400 set sitting in my bedroom that I'm still trying to finish. It's Lego's biggest Technic set. And then I have a couple of cranes, and Sarah's got a couple of like the superhero Lego sets, those kind of things where I can sit inside and not sweat my ass off because it's 100 degrees outside. That's one thing I've been getting into, and that was an expensive mistake, but I like it, so oh well.
I mean, one of my biggest hobbies was airsoft, but unfortunately, I can't really do that because the virus. So I was going to start working out, but then I shifted everything into losing weight. So it was more or less a habit. I weigh myself every day, every morning, every night, every midday, 3 times a day. I always like to weigh myself just for the fact of like I really like to keep on track. I want to lose weight, so I'm making sure that I'm doing so. So I've definitely pulled back on snacking. And here's the thing is like when the virus first started, I was starting to snack a little bit more. And I was staying at like a good like let's say I went from 190, I believe it was like 193 to then 186, and then I stood there for a while because I kept snacking because this whole virus issue. And then eventually, I didn't snack anymore, and I now am sitting at a solid 175 for a couple of weeks now, and I'm hoping to lose even more weight. But I think that was like a bit of the new habit that I have had. I have been playing. Oh, and another new habit. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Warzone. I'm obsessed. That game is fun. Me and Junior played a bit.
I
Yeah,
can't get into the battle royales. I just can't do it.
video games was something I was gonna try to get into too, just so like my whole day is just filled with doing stuff. But I don't know, I just couldn't. It can stick.
Yeah,
I think it's also because every time I try to go play Warzone, it's like a 30 gig update.
yeah. People are kind of upset with that. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed with the seasons that have been kind of showing up, but overall, I mean, I've just enjoyed the grind of the battle royale and kind of losing, and then finally getting victories. It's pretty wild. I'm standing at like a whopping 40, but then you look at the overall leaderboards of like not my friends, but at least like of actual people, and they're hitting like 100, 200 wins. And meanwhile, me and my friend, well, the highest my friend has for like wins in this sort of battle royale game is 54, and I'm like, obviously I think I'm like 14 behind, and I'm actually catching up to one of my other buddies. I'm only like 4 behind. He was like at 44. But I've been grinding on that game like quite a bit. I haven't even been playing like a lot of single players like I kind of wanted to, just because I don't know. Like I said, I'm obsessed with the grind. I think it's really fun. Also, a new thing that I've been working out for, and I really hope the listeners keep a lookout, is I've been working on a children's book for the past couple of months. We did discuss it briefly with BMMB, And shout out to you, by the way. He's the one of the individuals who's actually working on the art for our YouTube and a lot of stuff he's doing for the channel. But I've also have been working with him to develop a children's book and create the art. And let's just say it's coming together really well. I hope by the time when we release this episode that we'll be done with the book and we could kind of talk a bit more and have him on as a guest and publish the book. But I've just been focusing on that. But yeah, that I think that concludes the summertime. It definitely sounds like we have all had fairly interesting yet strange summers.
Strange to say the least.
Yeah. But with that said, I think we're going to throw it over to a quick break. I hope you guys enjoy a word from our sponsor. Adam Stone, a unique and talented artist hitting the alternative rock scene. Listen to him as he jams his way into becoming a new hit artist.
But now you will, 'cause I am bringing you down. I'll take you off your chair, setting fire what's left from your hair. Someday.
Listen to Adam Stone singles for free on Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Surrounding me. I don't know why I was chosen to live like this every day, every day, every day. I don't know why pain.
You can follow your favorite ghost, Adam Stone, on Instagram and Facebook. Link in the description. And we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that word from our sponsor. The next ad will be playing in another 30 minutes. So I did want to update everyone and tell them we're on every Friday. We didn't mention this. If you're new here, every Friday, about at 9 a.m., I do the posting. So that way, keep on the lookout on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe over on Instagram and Twitter. We have a lot of fun there. Actually, we're trying to get better with social media. Managing social media and managing uploads definitely is very different. And also, please feel free to check out our sponsors. The link is going to be in the description for all sponsors that we have, as well as crediting Adam Stone for doing the music and BMMB. So if you want to check out their stuff and that artist that I was talking about, go over to the description. All things advertising and all things amateur hour is going to be in the description, so please give that a look. So also, what kind of happened throughout the summer, we didn't really get to talk about this much, is the new consoles that are coming out. Well, we got the PS4, we got the Xbox One, and let's just say the PS4 looks like a router. I hate the look. I think it looks...
PS5.
Or PS5, sorry. It looks like a router. It looks like hot trash to me. I don't know.
I haven't looked much into the PS5 at all.
Well,
I've seen
Google
a
an
couple of,
image
like,
right
pictures.
now, and you'll see how ugly it looks.
Let's see.
And
Oh.
I haven't been keeping up with it too much. Like I said, I haven't been playing as much video games. But
I'm kind of
it
excited
seems
about
like
sorry.
it seems like Xbox finally has the upper hand, because I know usually PlayStation always had like better specs, better hardware, but it seems like Xbox took the lead this time.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
they are taking the lead. All the specs point to Xbox One being the better console. And even Gabe Newell
Xbox One?
himself,
Or Xbox Series.
I think,
X.
I don't think it's called Xbox Series X. I think that's another... They have so many. It just I
Yeah.
think everyone knows
Whatever
that it's
new
an
one's
Xbox.
coming out.
Yeah, Xbox's new console is definitely superior. Gabe Newell himself, if you don't know him, he's the creator of Steam. People say he's one of the smartest people alive. This guy had even dubbed Xbox as going to be the better console because simply, I mean, he's like, yeah, it's in the specs. As for, go ahead.
Question is the sorry, Junior, I didn't know you were talking at first because I couldn't actually hear you, and then you were like bleeping in and out on my end, so my bad. But the PS5, am I looking for the one that has like the fins that stick up?
It's just white, bro. It's white. It looks like a router. It's white and black.
White with like blue. Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was like a blue inside or something.
No blue inside. It's white. It's got black. Maybe I could.
Well, there's pictures I'm looking at where there's a black one with like a blue kind of light comes from the inside, and then there's a white one that has the same thing.
I could
I think
probably
that's it.
drop
Okay.
a hot link in the.
It's kind of like curvy.
I mean, I'll be honest. If they release it in both colors, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the white one, but the black one really doesn't look that bad. That controller though is looking a little funky.
Yeah, so you're seeing the white and black, right? The controller, and you're
Yeah.
seeing the white and. Doesn't it look like a router though? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
you can't deny it. The memes that came out from this PS5 was absolutely hilarious. I mean, there was like they were making it like a toothbrush. They were someone literally grabbed their router, put it in a binder, a white binder, right, right behind it, and like closed it on. And sure enough,
It looks like they have two different ways to have it though, like laying on its side and standing up
Yeah.
and down.
and so speculation is too though that you're going to be able to take off the siding. Like the Xbox 360, how you're able to sort of take off the front face of it and put on.
And kind of customize it.
Yes, and customize it. But that's speculation. We don't know for sure. That could be, they're saying that could be possibly just the developer little latches, and the reason why it could pop off like that is just for the developers.
Yeah.
But people could also probably home customize it with like 3D printing, or I'm sure they'll make something if it can come off pretty easily.
I mean, it looks like it's going to have a good thermal design.
So, not
And
too
that's what
much.
the-
It looks like
well-
it's gonna heat really crazily.
The
It's
standing up one does, because if you look at it,
you see the vents on the middle of it, right?
they go all the way up around the top.
Yeah, but the thing is like
Assuming there's an intake fan in the bottom,
it
only them
looks
fresh air and hot air going out the top.
it looks so compact though in a way that's like, I don't know. See, PS5 always has this thing where they have the smallest slits for their their, how do you say, their their ventilation systems, and like
Well, that's
everything's
always
so
the PlayStation's
compact
thing.
together that it always overheats, and it sounds
That's
like a
always
jet
been
engine.
PlayStation's thing. You're playing your game, it's getting intense, and then the PlayStation lets you know. It's like, I'm working.
Yeah, it's
So,
all of a
it
sudden
has to do
takes
that.
off and takes
Right.
flight in the house. As for
Like,
the
I hope
Xbox,
I hope
though,
all your games are flight simulators, because then you can hear the jet engines.
as for the Xbox, though, their new system of like how they set everything up is purposely even made for like just more superior cooling. With the ventilation on top and the ventilation on bottom, the ventilation. They have the fan pulling in the cold air up top, or I believe it was the cold air from the bottom, right? And then like expelling the warm air up top. And that's why it's built. I mean, it looks funky. I'm not gonna lie. It
Just like a
literally
block.
looks like a box. It looks like the name, like an Xbox. But it definitely is. I feel like it's the better build for heating. And I don't feel like it's going to be a jet engine. I don't feel like it's going to overheat, just like the Xbox One was absolutely wonderful and not overheating. I think I generally think it's going to be the more superior console. As
Well,
for
for me-
exclusives, that's another story.
Yeah, but for me
Well-
too, it's just like in your entertainment system, you want to look at it and just have like a nice, clean look. With the
Yeah.
with the PlayStation, it just looks so funky. Just I don't know.
Yeah, they always
I prefer Xbox design wise. If I had to put it in my living room and have it out to display where everyone comes and sees it after COVID.
I feel like the developers thought a little bit more of like, okay, what is this going to look like in someone's house? And as opposed to PlayStation, they're like, let's do something different. I mean, I commend them on trying to be unique and be out there. Like, that's really cool of them. But I don't know. This design definitely, I agree with them. It's just it didn't nail it. It's like, what is that? I mean, it's a good conversational piece. When someone walks in your house and they see this router, they're like, oh, and they maybe not even ask. They're like, why is that binder around your router? That's like so bad.
Let me
but-
ask you this: where do you guys have your router? Out on display, or do you have it tucked away somewhere in some random room?
Mine's behind my TV.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
you
ours
keep
is on
those
the
things
side.
hidden just because routers are like you said, basically shaped like that PlayStation.
Yeah, so when you see the router, you're gonna be like, why is your router out here?
Get your shit together, bro. Come on, you're
Yeah.
supposed to hide those things.
They're like, why is it laying on its side? But yeah, definitely for consoles, PS4 or PS5. Sorry, I keep saying PS4, but PlayStation in general always has I would admit, the better exclusives. Xbox really does need to step up their game in that regard. Pun intended. But because Xbox doesn't really have anything different and unique. I mean, I love Halo. Halo's one of my favorite franchises, and I'm excited for the new game. And I love Gears of War as well, but I think they need more than you know, two exclusives up their sleeves that really has you like, wow, this is amazing. Even from a time, actually, Astroneer was like exclusive to Xbox, and now it's on PlayStation.
That's the game you guys kept trying to get me to get.
Yeah, we still want you to get it, but besides the point, what were we gonna say before that?
I noticed that some of them are gonna. Well, I saw PlayStation was gonna offer a console without the CD drive.
Yes, and I think Xbox might too. And I mean, I think that's kind of cool because we're kind of pushing towards a more digital age. And to be honest, I get everything digitalized because you can profile share it and you could share the same game rather than buying a disc and only one person can have it at a time. So I think that's cool. It's supposed to be cheaper. I'm probably going to get it with the disc still because I like the Blu-ray player in it. I like to be able to pop in a movie if I wanted to, and not on Netflix or not on Disney Plus, and just simply watch it. Makes for a good date night. Makes for a good. I don't have to buy a Blu-ray player later down the line. I just pay one solid price, and there you go. It's everything in one almost.
But also, isn't it supposed to be able to play older games as well?
Yeah, I believe still it's going to have that backwards compatibility with the original Xbox and 360 games, as well as Xbox One should still work. And that's another thing is I guess quick rant about that is that it's I was scared that Xbox One games were going to be obsolete and you weren't going to be able to play it on this new Xbox, but fortunately you can. As for PS5, I believe you're not able to go back and play those games. But PlayStation has always done that. And I feel like it's a big mistake because then it's making your own ecosystem a little bit obsolete. And I don't think it's necessarily fair for those people who, paid so much money and they could only play it on one console. I want to be able to move it onto another console. Let's say something happens to my old 360, I want to still be able to play these games and not have to buy another 360. Let's say in the future where 360s are hard to come by. I've been trying to buy an original Xbox, but I haven't just for saving's sake. But those are very hard to come by, right? And if they didn't have that backwards compatibility, I would be out of luck and unable to play all my original Xbox games. I think that would have been very sad.
So let's rewind a little bit back to the Xbox Series X. I'm expecting the PS5 to have similar specs because they've always been real neck and neck with each other. But I'm just looking at this. I don't know if you guys will understand much of what I say, but I'm just looking at it. It's got an 8-core CPU at 3.8 gigahertz. Whatever new AMD CPU that they made for it. But the thing that's standing out to me the most right now is 12 teraflop on the graphics card at 1.8 gigahertz. To put it in perspective, my computer has a 1080 Ti with like 11 point something teraflops, and it doesn't say how much RAM. I want to say it shares the system RAM between CPU and GPU. But if that's true, DDR6 of 16 gigs, this thing should basically be able to smash my computer. And my computer is pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, I know you've always advocated for computers and was
Well,
trying
I'm-
to get Justin to get away from Xboxes, which I think that was a big thing too. Now was saying like where do you go from the Xbox One? You basically get into computer territory.
Well,
Yeah.
now the next thing I want to look at is they're saying that they're guessing between $350 and $550 for the Xbox Series X price.
Yeah.
If that's true, that's insane, because if I wanted to build a computer right now to get as close as I can to these specs, I'm going to spend probably near $2,000.
So buy the Xbox.
Yeah, so that's we're saying buy Xbox is it. I'm telling you, they
I'm
finally
still
came
always,
back.
I
Sponsored
didn't plan
by
on buying
Microsoft
this Xbox, but I probably will always be a PC gamer, but I probably will still buy the Xbox. Yeah, I've never taken a deep look into the spec list for this thing, and it's pretty extreme.
Yeah, and
They are shooting real high here.
it's exciting. And PS5, I believe there's few of their specs haven't really held up to par. But that's why we have such smart people like Gabe Newell saying like, "Hey, this is it." If I had to choose that, it's Xbox. Xbox is it. It's the better bet and the better buy. And I mean, I was hoping that around this generation that we would have this sort of technology that is reaching this limit where it's hitting this territory of PC range. And so to actually have that, I think that's absolutely wonderful. I'm excited.
Here's another one. They're putting NVMe SSDs in it, but apparently they're special ones. 560 gigabit per second.
Holy
336 gigabit. That's your read and writes. To put that in perspective, the Xbox One is like even the Xbox One X. I want to say it's still on a mechanical hard drive if I'm correct, and it's not even a quarter of that. So your game loading times are going to be almost non-existent. Think about that. Let that one soak in. Because some of the games I launch, I'm like, okay, let me go get a drink and make a sandwich, and it'll be ready by the time I get back. This one, you're going to be like, I'm going to press A, and I'm going to be thrown right into the game.
What was the game we were playing, Justin, where the loading screen was just ridiculous? Was it Division? I can't remember.
No. Well, maybe. Maybe the beginning loading screen is. I want to say like almost like the Battlefield games have like crazy loading screens.
Oh, Battlefield, yeah. But that's an old game.
I would say that maybe they had like the loading screens that took forever, but I'm trying to remember, and it really wasn't Division because their loading screen wasn't that crazy. Like their title loading screen like takes forever, but the rest of the game I feels like loads pretty quickly. But to have now like almost no loading times, that's gonna be madness. It's gonna be wonderful madness.
I mean, I'm pretty excited just the fact that they're moving towards SSD. 1 terabyte NVMe built-in storage. Expandable storage, they're going to have another 1 terabyte expansion card that you can buy for it, and USB 3.2 hard drive support. That's
insane.
faster than most basic hard drives. So basically, you could probably put, I don't know how big of a 3.2 hard drive it supports, but just typical is 2 terabyte. So there's going to be no more, hey, let's delete this game so I can download my new game. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't know that yet because you never know if game sizes are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, they're going to keep getting bigger, but we're already looking at a terabyte of high-speed storage and external support for minimum of 2 terabyte.
Yeah, so I think getting an external hard drive probably is the better bet.
Well, even if you get their expansion card, right there you're already sitting on 2 terabytes before you do an external drive.
But Junior did have a point. That means it's definitely going to be bigger gigs, so it means longer downloads. The updates are going to be probably up to 200 or so updates, and I find that absolutely insane.
And so what Call of Duty's gonna take up a whole terabyte for one game.
Call of Duty's already topping, I think, 200 gigs to update. And actually, I was playing Red Dead Redemption the other day, and I feel like they've had another gigabyte up or 100 gigabyte update. It was crazy, and I was like, no. I literally just uninstalled. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Well, when they do an update, though, it downloads that much storage, but it's usually replacing a lot of files, too. Like, you don't just say, like, okay, here's the game already 80 gigs. Now it's 180 gigs. It usually replaces that.
Well, here's the thing is, no, it takes up more space.
Well, yeah, it's going to take up more space, but it's not taking up an additional 100 gigs.
Yeah, that has not been my experience. I will say, it generally takes up that space.
Well,
And
PC is entirely different then.
It's well, PC's always a different animal. Console, you can't ever compare. I think people who compare PC
Not
to
yet.
console, you know,
I think we're going to be comparing with these new releases.
well, with the new releases, but as of right now, it's obviously you could always do more.
So here, to put it in perspective, because I think these consoles are really going to be more comparable to computers now. I have 36 games that are downloaded, ready to play, and they're taking up 1 terabyte of storage. Now, assuming games are going to take up more storage because as graphics get better, more and more involvement in the game, all that kind of stuff, obviously the files get bigger. But I don't think it's going to be much different because I'm playing, all the AAA titles. You're probably going to be able to store all 30 games on your console without any problem, without even getting the expansion card, which is going to be awesome because right now on my Xbox, I have the terabyte one. I cannot store all of those games on it with however Xbox does it. But I think there's like maybe 15 games on my Xbox. But with the compression and the high speed and everything, if they're getting more into how a computer does it, you're going to be storing more and more games. And like I said, my library, if you do that expansion card and get 2 terabytes, I'm only half full right now. And I would expect it to be a little bit more efficient on an Xbox because of how they code things differently. But that's going to be insane because how many times do you go play a new game and you're like, well, shoot, I have to uninstall something to get this up and going?
Yeah,
that's not going to happen anymore. Another thing to look forward to is last generation consoles, all the hardware, all the testing, the graphics and everything, it came out on a console first. And then they took all those graphics and everything, and then they revised them and they made them for PCs too. So now that we're seeing this 12 teraflop AMD graphics card, whatever RDNA 2 GPU they're talking about, you got to also think that's a card that they're cramming into this smaller package to fit inside these Xboxes. I'm assuming PlayStation's got a similar one that they're going to use too from AMD. They usually do. Wait until those cards come out in their desktop variant. It's going to be even more insane performance. Probably a lot more expensive, but just think about the performance levels that we are just dipping into and nobody's even seen them yet. The gaming world's going to explode pretty much.
Another strange performance has been this summer. And to say the very least, another strange performance. As we stated before, the summer, as soon as we ended the podcast, we had this big uproar with Black Lives Matter. And I feel like we didn't necessarily even get to dive into that. It was so strange because it hit all at once. And I will say this, I support Black Lives Matter, and I generally feel like, the way that police has been treating people of color, I think that is definitely and Black Lives, to be more specific, has been very repulsive. And I thought what was insane is that when this Black Lives Matter started, you still had more cops senselessly killing all these, black individuals. And I was like, how is it that America could be shaken and put on its knees, and yet you're still choosing to shoot and kill unarmed black men, or rather than sort of warning shots, or at least giving them a chance to survive, you're shooting to kill. I feel like the police have almost made it a war on the streets and are taking this way too far against, civilians. Granted, not every person probably that was shot was the most perfect person or in the right situation. One of which I reference is there's an individual who was trying to grab a cop's taser, and he grabbed it, and I believe he was trying to run away or something, but the cops shot him to kill. It was a shoot to kill, and it wasn't a warning shot. I feel like it could have easily been avoided, and the first thing they decided to do was shoot. And,
well, that's the problem. There's
Yeah.
a big difference between a kill shot and maybe you just fire off a round at the ground to scare the guy hoping that he stops, or okay, maybe he's not, so shoot him in the knee or the leg. If you have to shoot the guy, why are you going to shoot him straight in the chest or straight in the head?
In the back, actually, too.
That's-
Like, that's ridiculous.
Front or back, it's hitting the same organs inside. But that's why, I mean, why not try to shoot lower down? Like if you hit him in the thigh or the butt or something like that to disable the guy, okay, there you go. But there's no reason to shoot him in the back, or maybe you hit his spine, maybe you went through a lung or a heart or something like that. That's a kill shot.
Yeah.
That I don't agree with. And also the situation too, like, okay, he's grabbing your taser. Maybe you thought too fast. Maybe you just pulled the gun out and shot. Well, that's wrong too, because you should be thinking about that.
Situational awareness.
Now, if he pulls your gun out of your holster and he has it pointed at you, well, now you're both in the wrong. So at that point, race shouldn't matter at all. The situation's got to get stopped somehow. And at that point, okay, if I'm standing there, say I'm a cop, someone takes my gun, it's pointed at me. Now maybe there's another cop, or maybe I carry two guns or something stupid like that. Now it's like, okay, I have a family and you're going to kill me, and you have a family and now I'm going to kill you so my family doesn't lose me, but you're thinking the same thing. I'm going to kill you so my family doesn't lose me either. Now you have to think about it that way when the situation gets bad enough. It's just there's too much going on where nobody's thinking about the situation or nobody's caring about the other one. So it should be.
I think
If someone takes a taser and runs, it shouldn't be a kill shot.
this whole thing.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that.
The gun to my head and you're about to pull the trigger, well, then maybe the kill shot should be involved because you're intending to kill too.
I believe that all
Situation needs to be evaluated before that happens.
the cops need to have. And that's the thing is, like, what bothers me is that they are trained on situational awareness. They are trained in the matters of also even psychology, and yet you have
that's
these.
the whole thing that started it. The cop was holding the guy down and like had a knee on his neck, so he
Yes.
couldn't breathe.
George Floyd. And, aside from the video, though, I definitely feel like it's a pressing issue that has been plaguing America for such a long time. I mean, it's built in the roots of America, and that is racism. And racism is very serious. It's very real. And, I mean, I am happy that people are sort of now finally standing up and finding their voice and sitting up and saying, like, we can't take any more of this. I do agree that, we can't breathe, as the term was coined after the unfortunate death of George Floyd. I believe America can't breathe. Being in a melting pot and being this nation of wonder and glory, through these last few months, I was kind of almost falling back into a bit of a depression, staring at how strange the world is, and I'm going to say specifically America, just because this is where I'm living, is that it's just, I feel like it's showing the true nature of individuals that, which is almost destruction. For some reason, I don't know, it's one of the biggest divides in America, and the most that I've ever seen America divided.
Let's put it all in perspective here, because okay, COVID comes along. People are freaking out. We can't do anything. People are dying left and right. All that's going on, it's happening. It's still happening. And then if that wasn't bad enough, now we had this outbreak with the Black Lives Matter because a black person died that shouldn't have died. And now we're stacking that on top of the COVID. So we got two huge things that are going on.
Yeah.
And then what I don't understand is the rioting and the looting and all that getting stacked on both of these two things.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate
it's too
time.
much at one time.
It's an unfortunate time. This nation really is divided.
Like, okay,
actually,
I totally
hold on
agree.
real quick.
Go ahead.
Actually, I came across the article the other day on NPR. I don't know if you guys saw the video floating around about the Umbrella Man who kind of did the first damage to that AutoZone.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Did you see that, Justin?
Do tell. I would like to hear.
So
about
there was a video going around about like the AutoZone was like one of the first places attacked during the rioting. So, or I don't know what would you just say. Maybe attack's not the best word, but they had a video of this random dude wearing like a full respirator mask, had an umbrella, weatherproof clothing, all that. And so I came across this article the other day. Turns out it was a white supremacist.
Yeah.
So like that just goes to show the nature of what goes on. They don't sure it's freedom of speech is the whole thing, my rights, whatever, but people are so quick to let minorities speak up. They want to break down everything that we have, basically.
Yeah, and I found it strange too a lot of times when the blaming started happening and blame game with the news, and it was it was a lot of misinformation being thrown around for like the longest time. And I mean, I'm just even hearing about this, and to hear about like really one of the first sort of lootings happening, or like being attacked, as you said.
It makes sense.
It's strange. Yeah.
From the get-go, I was like, something's fishy. Well, I get it. First of all, you have all this anger. No one's listening. What's going to happen? It's just gonna burst eventually.
Yeah.
Well,
it's hard to keep it bottled up.
Energy, it's going to explode at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so opportunists see that, and yes, they're going to take advantage of it, make you act in a way so it what's the word? It demeans your whole the whole thing. You're trying to
make you
aim
look
for.
like the bad guy.
Yeah,
it's almost so like beating a dog. After a while, beating a dog, the dogs become rabid, right? They become angry, and they don't like humans, and they start literally snapping at you because that animal was abused. And it's like literally, not to compare us to animals, I'm just using this as an example, is that I think us as minorities and us as, and Black lives specifically have been so abused that, you have that pent-up anger, you have that upset, so it takes that one person to try and demean everything and sort of purposely break your message. I don't think that the looting and
discredit
everything...
the movement. That's the word I was looking
to
for.
discredit the movement. And I agree. I don't think that necessarily that a lot of those people were Black Lives. You'll see a bunch of YouTubers, you'll see a bunch of people that were there were not in support of Black Lives Matter. You've seen a lot of people that were just looting and breaking things because it was an opportunity. It was an opportunity to steal. It was an opportunity to vandalize, and it was fun for them when you had these. And here's another thing that I found strange too. Where were the police when there was this looting? Yet when it comes to peaceful Black Lives Matter protesting, you have them literally shooting tear gas and these huge rubber bullets that literally can kill you at individuals, you know, it just to break up crowds apparently, but they are peacefully protesting. There's video footage out there. There's plenty of articles and stuff showing that. I thought that was pretty ridiculous to feel like we have a police system set in place that is supposed to protect us, but when it came down to when we needed protection, which was when these lootings were happening, nothing came of it.
That's what I was talking about earlier, where everything's being blown out of proportion and everything's being handled wrong. Because, like you said, okay, there's a big crowd. Maybe they wanted to break up these crowds. They said because of the COVID that we shouldn't be in these big crowds. Okay, I agree. Tear gas, bullets, no, wrong answer. Especially if they weren't freaking out or going insane. But then, like you just said, at the stores where there's just videos of people just pushing carts out with TVs or, well, whatever. It doesn't matter what they're pushing out. They're just walking out of the store looting everything.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen very many of those videos with cops dropping tear gas or shooting rubber bullets at people stealing or lighting things on fire or actually bad things.
I think it was horrible to see, and it was horrible to see the youthful generation too, of like these young and dare I say white kids trying to even break in certain areas. And you had there was this one video in particular I seen, I think it was like somewhere by a college or something, and this girl steps in the way of these two individuals that wanted to throw a brick through the window and bust in this house or this like building. Fortunately, right. I'm not too aware of what the building was, and you literally had this white girl standing in front of them saying like, no, you're not going to do it. And this black guy comes, and literally you had chains of people saying you need to stop looting. And the unfortunate part is in all this too, those individuals during this virus that have lost their job now because of the looting on top of it. It's definitely, it was the most sad thing I've seen. And another horrific thing that I remember seeing was there was this video of there was peaceful protesting on this highway. There was a bunch of people protesting. They're walking down the highway. It almost seemed like they were like taking a bit of a march of their own. And there was this semi truck trying to drive through all of those people. Can you imagine the semi truck running everyone over and killing them? It was the most. Luckily it had hit nobody. And the truck driver is alive, but he was pulled out of his vehicle and beaten because of just how crazy that was. And it just goes to show, and it's highlighting how divided we have been as a country. I'm so surprised by it because we're a melting pot of a nation. We're a nation of all nations. We accept everyone. We preach love to everyone, right? And yet we can't accept color still. I'm like, it's 2020. You know, we speak so much.
I'm here, Justin, because I just want to ask the question. Okay, looting, rioting, blocking highways, anything that all the minority groups and supporters are doing, is that sending the right message?
That's the thing when it comes to looting and rioting. That's what me and Junior were saying, is that
I don't think it's sending the right message. I don't think they're helping themselves. And honestly, I've heard stories about where they looted and rioted at a Walgreens or the local drugstore, and then that drugstore, it was already in a low-income area, and then they sent out and said that we're not going to reopen. And then all of a sudden, everyone in that area is upset because now they don't have a drugstore, and they're like, "Where's my mom going to get her?"
And as I said before, it wasn't all Black Lives Matter. This wasn't a Black Lives Matter movement. This was a people wanting.
Taking advantage of the situation
Yeah.
movement. But
Yeah.
minority groups that are, when Black Lives Matter or anything like that arises, and they're like, "Oh, our life matters," blah 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 blah. But then when you have these groups doing all these bad things,
Yeah.
is it helping?
It was shining a poor light as the youthful generation was, and anyone, it was even older people, were just shining a horrible light on it. And that's my point, is that we've been so divided. We want this love, we want this peace, and yet for some reason this nation has to constantly look at each other's skin. And to be honest, we're all just people. We're all pink on the inside, okay? We all bleed red. It shouldn't matter. I think
If I'm going to see a difference in a person, I'm not going to look at your skin color. I'm not going to look at your background. I'm not going to look at any of that. Are you a good person,
yeah, it's
or are you
character.
a bad person?
America should be what America is claimed to be, and that's, the American dream of working hard to get where you're going to go. And, I feel like that we need to get back to those roots. We really need to stop all this hate. There's no point in hating someone because of their color. There's no point of the race, the religion. At this point in time, whoever you may be, I think you should start accepting people. As long as that person is not hateful, accept them. With that said, I am going to throw it over to a break. I hope you guys enjoy this word from our sponsor. As for the Black Lives Matter movement, I support it. And I hope everyone stays safe in this time of the virus and this time of the Black Lives Matter. I often find myself wondering, what's next? What lies ahead? Where do I go? How far will I go? We often think about tomorrow. But what's the point? What's the point of not looking at what we have in front of us? Why not look to the present and be grateful? Why do you run from today? What difference does it make if everything you have today can be gone tomorrow? So I urge you, live for today. Search EBXYA on Amazon today to get all of your XLR cable needs. Link in the description. All right, and we're back. And I hope you guys enjoyed that word from our sponsors. We're going to shift the topics. We definitely feel like we should do something a lot brighter. It was
More
definitely
uplifting.
Yeah,
Well,
more
it's heavy.
uplifting.
You gotta hear it.
Yeah.
You gotta understand it.
Yeah, we're also shifting as well the formatting of our podcast, as I previously stated, and a part of it is we want to talk about serious things, but we also want to have fun in our episodes and talk to you guys also about current events and things going on and new tech that's coming in. So just be prepared for a lot of variation, because we do talk about anything and everything as we say. Again, I do want to remind you, though, please go down in the link to follow our sponsors, show them some love, follow them, go over to our social media. We're on all 4 platforms now, so absolutely wonderful. Welcome, all of you. I love each and every one of you. But
unless you don't like deep dish pizza,
yeah,
and I don't know if I can love you.
well,
This is true.
you know what? I've been pondering, right? I've been sitting here with all this time on my hands, and I've been thinking, what slice of pizza is superior? Is it triangle? Is it square? Is it thick? Is it thin? How do you guys feel? What's your favorite pizza?
Let me tell you, it is a thick triangle.
A thick triangle.
Thick triangle or one piece it sets you straight, You getting it hand served, cheese is oozing out. Nothing compares to it, man.
Yeah, I'm a big deep dish fan. I think deep dish is delicious. It's filling. It's almost a bit like a pasta. I look at it like a pasta, just a beautiful pasta. But here's the
Well,
thing.
that one's deep dish is literally like a pie. You know how they say pizza is a pie?
Yeah.
The deep dish is literally a pie.
It's the pizza pie of all time. Most definitely. What I always find strange, though, is like when people cut squares. And here's the thing about like cutting squares. Like, you know, when you get to the middle and then it's just you have to burn your fingers in the cheese. I kind of find that gross, I'm not going to lie. And it's annoying because then the cheese is just flimsy and it, like when you're biting it, it just flops on out. So I don't know. I'm not a big advocate of the squares. What do you guys
I
think?
don't know. Sometimes I like a sloppy pizza. Like for me, I love reheating pizza because then it gets like real greasy and slimy and soft. Oh, it's awesome. I look forward to it
In what universe is slimy awesome?
when it's
slimy
when it's
part-
regards to pizza.
The
That
slimy
universe.
part, no, but when you have the slice of pizza and the cheese is stretching and it's a little bit messy, I can agree with enjoying that.
Do you guys like it when it's microwaved the next day? Do you like it cold? What's going on there?
I love it microwave the next day. Like I was saying, it gives it that weird, soft,
I can
greasy
agree.
feel.
Got the pizza from
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Pizza Hut. I will eat that cold the next day all day long.
Really?
The thing about that too is like Pizza Hut and maybe say Domino's, the crust is like the end crust is a little bit thicker. So when you microwave that, it just gets hard.
Ooh. That
So
sounds
versus
nice.
like say House of Pizza or something where you have your square cuts and all that thin crust, you just throw that in there, softens it up.
I have noticed from like Papa J's when you go to Papa John's, like their crust gets kind of weird when you microwave it. It's just like
It's
oof.
hard, right? Like tough.
Yeah. How do you guys store pizza? What do you put it in the freezer, the fridge? I've seen people put it in the freezer. Was why I'm asking.
What?
Yeah.
Do tell. Do
I went
tell.
to a friend's house and they had it in the freezer, like one of those Ziploc bags. I was like, why not
Did
just
they
put it in the
explain?
refrigerator? No, they didn't explain. It was just there.
That's weird.
Tyler,
Yeah,
so you like cold pizza, eh?
Depends on who it's from. Like I said, Pizza Hut. I'm gonna eat that cold the next day. But
What
I
about
can't think
like
of the name
you
of
know
the
like
place.
what about like oven baked pizza, right? Like let's say you put a nice DiGiorno or Tombstone. You gonna eat that cold or would you eat it?
That's not making it to the next day. I'll
exactly.
be honest.
But there used to be a place. It was in St. John. It was basically like I can't remember the name of it. It was like a Subway. You went there, they brought out the crust in front of you, and you walked across the counter with the glass, and you told them what ingredients you wanted on it, and they gave it back to you cold, uncooked, and you brought that to your house and put it in the oven, and they gave you the instructions and everything for that.
Really?
I can't remember the name of it, but that pizza has to be reheated the next day, hands down. It does not taste good cold. But they don't have it anymore. It used to be up where the GameStop was, in the same strip mall.
That was a while back, but Justin, back in EC, they had a spot just like that
Yeah.
near us.
Really?
Dude, I loved that place. We got it like once a week.
I did not go out much when I was in EC. I went to Sturks way back in the day and waited for the
Sturks.
Lotiero to come back and got some ice cream from him, which was really dope. But so what slice of pizza do you guys necessarily prefer, though? Is it
Are you talking about
squares?
shape? We're not
shape.
discussing pizza at this point.
Shape.
Right.
I want to know: is it triangle? Is it square? Do you do something weird? And do you make it like a, I don't know, rectangle, rhombus?
Well, I think they got it. They got it right with like that House of Pizza. That's thin pizza. It's good when it's cut into the squares, but when it's like a thicker pan crust, sort of like Pizza Hut or the one spot that doesn't get enough credit, Little Caesars. I don't know. That just it works as a triangle.
I like the triangle. I think I have to go with the triangle.
Triangle. Do you guys ever like fold that triangle and eat it almost like How, do you know what I'm talking about?
Sometimes.
If it's a messy thin crust, I'm gonna fold it in half.
Yeah. I find myself just doing it for fun sometimes. Like I just fold it simply just because I think it's, I don't know,
Have you
it's
guys ever
interesting.
had mod pizza?
Mod pizza? Yeah.
I
just
had a version of it.
A version of it? Okay.
No. Actually, I did have mod pizza, but there's also a place in Maryville that's the same concept called Blaze Pizza or something.
Okay. I had mod pizza for the first time the other day, and it was delicious.
I have
I
to
put
say,
all the different kind of cheeses on it, all the different meats on it. The thing was good.
if I had to choose between Blaze or Mod, I'm choosing Blaze. Because I go out there in Chicago. I have this right by my school. I have a Blaze pizza in Chicago, and like their crust for some reason is just cooked so beautifully in the oven. When I had Mod pizza, here was my thing: one, I had a hair in my pizza. Two, it was like I don't know. The crust tasted very soft. Like it was like not like it wasn't cooked, but what I mean by soft was like soft in flavor. I don't know if you guys understand.
When I went there, mine was a thin crust. And it was actually burnt slightly on the bottom, which I don't mind. I liked it that way. But I got their basic crust, and then I added them putting a bunch of seasonings and all the different kind of cheeses on top. But I can actually say I really did like the crust itself. I thought it was good. I went to the one in where is that? Highland.
By Target.
Yeah. And that was good. I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
I misspoke earlier. I said Blaze Pizza was in Maryville, but it's called a Rapid Fire Pizza. Same concept.
Ooh, I've never been there.
Yeah, I think they had. I don't know if all places have, it, but I remember them having like a spicy sauce that you could get. And I like spicy, so
That sounds interesting.
I got spicy sausage on mine, and that was a good touch.
Is it like a buffalo? You know, like where it's like overbearing spice and like you get it in your nose?
It's like
it's red pepper.
Yeah.
Like crushed red pepper.
Yeah,
it's basically like the sauce is made with that.
Do you remember the time when we had pizza, and I put hot sauce on my pizza for the first time in my life, and I broke out in hives?
Wait! You missed the part where you loved it.
Yeah, it was delicious. I enjoyed it. Junior had opened my eyes.
Destroy you.
Yeah, Junior had opened my eyes to a whole new world. I felt like I want to sing the lyrics to the to the what do you say, the Aladdin
Disney
song?
movie? Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately we probably would get copyrighted. But it was a whole new world to say the least, and I was enjoying myself. I had so many slices, and then my body started itching. It was first my butt. I was like scratching my butt the whole time, and we're with a bunch of friends.
Pizza?
Excuse me?
Did you have a good fart after your pizza?
No, I'm just scratching my butt, dude. And I thought, I was like, okay, I'm like, why am I so itchy? And I started scratching my thighs. Then I started scratching my back. And people thought like I had like some sort of like fleas or something because we were there with a few other friends. They're like, dude, you got fleas? I'm like, I swear, I don't know what the heck. And then I went to the bathroom. I was like, what the heck's going on? You know, I had to check the thighs. And then all of a sudden, I had like, it almost looked like mosquito bites, just like all over my body. And like they were swollen, and yet they were itchy. And then I had discovered that, yeah, I'm allergic to hot sauce.
Hot sauce on pizza.
For some reason, that combination is trying to destroy my life.
Probably too acidic for you.
I guess so. It's disappointing to say the least. I love spicy.
It's delicious.
Yeah. Yet when I have like crushed peppers on pizza, it's okay. But when it's like hot sauce, it's like I'm gonna die.
How about ranch on your pizza?
Ranch on my pizza.
That I can't do.
I can't do it either.
Do it.
I can do it if it's like a Jack's pizza, just like a thin crust oven pizza.
Now, something weird for you. Have you ever had the pizza bites, the little like pizza nugget things? I will dip those in sour cream. That is delicious.
Pizza bites. Oh, are you talking about like the
Totino's
pizza rolls?
Yeah.
Ooh, those are delicious. So you dip it in what again?
Sour cream.
Sour cream. I've never tried that.
It's delicious. I don't know why it sounds gross, but it's delicious.
The one sauce I saw that was weird was someone eating their pizza. It was a beggar's pizza with mustard.
Mustard? Who puts mustard on pizza?
It was real weird. The guy
So
even
what?
said, the guy himself said, he's like, yeah, someone showed me this and I thought it was real weird. Then I just had to try it one day and it just tasted good.
What kind of pizza?
It was beggars, just like
Ooh, I was
Pepperoni and
curious.
sausage, like a regular
something.
kind of pizza.
something like that.
Okay,
That's strange. And having
it's like one of them barbecue pizzas, or like has like weird ingredients like chicken and stuff on it, but like a sausage and pepperoni or something like that with mustard. I don't know.
I could probably never do that.
You try it, but that sounds weird.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, you just gotta try things at least once, man.
Well, that's why I said I'm one of those say that don't knock it till you try it.
No, I was basically saying the same thing to Justin.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm too picky for that. I'm too picky for that life. But what about pineapple? You guys agree with the idea of having pineapple on pizza? I, for one, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no. I'm a no. It's a no for me.
Guys, if you guys knew me, you'd know that I absolutely hate pineapple. It makes me feel like I'm gonna puke everywhere. So absolutely not. No pineapple on my pizza because I can't even have it like alone.
2v1.
Probably too-
Boom.
Probably too citric for you.
I don't know.
So I have a development, and we visited this topic sort of briefly in one of our podcast episodes, season 1. You check it out, available on all platforms. But I pouring cereal, right? I like to pour the milk first and then the cereal. Other people were telling me they like. Apparently, I'm the weird one, and they say no, it's cereal first, then milk.
I think we told you were weird on that podcast. Yeah.
And
If you pour the cereal first, or I mean, if you pour the milk first, and then you pour your cereal, it's all just going to float on top of the milk.
what happens when?
Put cereal in the bowl.
Here's the thing, I don't
I'm
want
fair.
that much cereal. I don't want that much. And then here's another thing, though. Either way, you're pouring cereal the next go around, so it's gonna end up on top eventually. So, am I wrong? But either way, there's another category, gentlemen. There is another category. And Junior, it might not be what you're thinking.
Oh, I thought it was the thing I sent you.
The meme you sent.
Yeah.
It's not that category. So I was told recently by another friend of mine, and I won't out this person out. It's not fair.
Cough, cough, name.
But they put milk in the bowl, right? And they have cereal in a cup. Separate. They eat it
Okay.
separately. Yeah, that's a whole new category.
Are you sure
At that,
it's cereal in a bowl and milk in a cup?
I was just about to say that makes a
No.
little bit more sense.
No, it's not cereal in the bowl. It's milk in the bowl and cereal in a cup.
So what do they
did
do?
they-
Take they tilt the cup in their mouth, put a little bit of cereal in there, and then sip out the bowl? Like, how does this?
I didn't ask the details. I was shocked. I was just like, I have to bring this information back. I will.
You didn't bring enough information.
To be
back.
continued. It brings the viewers back. We gotta have the listeners hooked somehow. I'll get into the logistics in the next episode.
I have to wait a week. This is what you're not understanding. I'm confused right now.
This will be an ongoing topic.
That's actually worse than the meme I sent you.
Yeah, the meme Junior sent me. I could describe it, and it was pretty under the belt, Junior, if I do say so myself. But it was milk and cereal on a table, and then the bowl on top.
Well, it was explained because it was the whole process of milk then cereal, but versus cereal then milk. This is milk, cereal, then bowl.
And you know what? I really hope that is a category. That would be absolutely amazing. I would love the details on that.
Sometime in the future, when we start doing video podcasts, maybe we'll act out a couple of these memes and we'll show you why they don't work.
Yeah, that would
Hold
be
on.
fun.
Something's coming to my mind. Was there this challenge not too long ago where people basically made a bowl of cereal in their mouth and people would eat out of it.
Oh yeah, can that be a category, please?
That one we're not gonna act out.
I remember that, and I was like so disgusted by that. I'm like, I'm not having someone else's milk mouth or like cereal. I don't know what you call that. It's disgusting. But you know what?
Fermenting in their mouth, and then you like, what do? Dip a spoon in there and eat it? And like, nah, I'll pass.
Here's the thing: someone had to come up with that, and I think it was someone that's a norm for them, and they wanted to make it popular and make it a meme. So I'm gonna add that as a category of cereal eating. Someone out there is eating cereal like a bird. Like, it's so gross. It's like regurgitated.
Some things you just can't wrap your head around.
Sort of like, okay, here's another thing to wrap your head around. Do you guys find it okay to pee in public pools?
I think the real question is, Tyler, have you actually peed in a public pool? No, I'm just kidding. I feel like I have. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I might have maybe once, but besides that, I go out of my way to try not to.
I'll tell you this: I pee in the beach a lot while I'm swimming,
and that's where a weird difference for me too, because I'll pee on a beach also.
Tyler, what about you? I need your take on this. What happens?
I feel like the vastness of it dilutes it or something.
Do you take it another step? Or what's going on?
I would prefer not to pee in the public pool or your own pool. Probably, don't pee in it. I have peed in a lazy river before, though.
Oh, here's the thing. I have too.
But they have the water flow and the most water pushed through filters than any other thing in the park. That way.
I like how he thinks about it logistically.
Yeah, so did you think about that and then move to the lazy river to pee?
No, I just peed in the tube and it came out in the lazy river.
So like you had this whole thought out process, but like it's after the fact.
Well, yeah. I don't know. If you're in a pool, like, okay, let's say you're in the wave pool and that water's just sitting there sloshing around. No, you don't want to pee in that. That'd be rude. But if you're in the lazy river and that water is being rushed out from under your feet and diluted right away, like, okay, like maybe if you pee in that, it's not that bad.
It's like Tyler's like this what's that word? It's like, is it meditate? I forget the word, but it's like premeditated peer.
That's what I was asking. Did you move from the pool purposely to go pee in the lazy river?
No. See, we got out of one thing in the next like water slide thing we went to. I forgot where I was, but it dumped you into the lazy river and then you just kept going.
Have you guys ever peed when like you were going down like a water slide?
No. Please tell me you haven't done that.
No. I haven't done it, but I was hoping one of you have because I was like, that would just be next level savage, like peeing as you're going down a water slide.
Secretly, you're asking Tyler if he's ever done that.
I mean, to be honest, Tyler, he would be like the weird one to have, just for the fact that like I'd be like,
I mean, I would agree with that statement, but no, I have not.
Like
next time.
But like the more I think about it, though, like yeah, I've peed in a lot of places. I've peed in like those wave pools, so someone's got hit with a wave of my urine to their face. I've peed in public pools. I've peed in beaches. I even peed in personal pools, though. That's like that was like a no-go for me. I'm like, nah, that's not fair. I know these people. Like, nah. But like you know, in the public, you're like, I want to watch the world burn, and it just.
Have you ever laid a log in the water?
No.
Well, let me tell you this story. No, I'm just kidding. No, I haven't. Yeah. If you'd seen Junior right now in the video chat, like he kind of like sat up for a second. He's like, "Wait, what?"
I was like, "Do tell! I want to hear this."
Junior.
No, I've never done that either. But
Have you ever seen it happen?
I have had a cousin who we were at like some recluse beach. We got there by a boat, no bathroom. We had to her parents had to dig a little hole for her and like hold her up.
Oh my gosh, bro. That's rough. That is rough.
But do you think it would have been better if she just went in the water?
I don't know. I kind of want to say yes because, like, did she wipe?
I don't know. Maybe with some napkins. But you can still wipe afterwards if you go in the beach. Like in the beach water.
But the water, right? It's almost like your famous bidet. It just splashes, all the
No,
residue.
I'm saying use the beach, like whatever, as your toilet, and then come out and just give it a quick wipe with a napkin or something.
But you might not have to, The water is cleaning you up. That's what I'm
I see what
saying.
you're saying. I see what. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're bathing.
The water. Although I don't know how well that would have went, because if I just pooped, your turd typically floats sometimes, and if it floats next to me, I'm like, well, I got to get out of this.
Well, that's a sign of not being healthy.
Yeah.
You might want to look into that.
You guys never have a turd like once in a while that floats?
No, actually.
I heard it's a sign of dehydration.
Maybe when I was, like, dehydrated, I would admit, maybe. Because there was a time where I didn't have water, but, like, as in, like, was it frequent? Not really, no.
Well, no, it's like I said, once in a while. Have you guys ever... Weird question. Have you ever, like, took a dump and, like, your turd somehow just flowed right down the pipe and you're like, oh, where'd it go?
That must have been some heavy dump, bro. Like, geez.
It's happened. Like, once in a while, that happens too.
That's that ghost poop.
It's like, did I actually, or did I act not? Because it's not there.
I have not had that happen.
Season 2, making sure to start off with poop talk.
Yeah, right? We always find a way.
Next time.
We always find a way to kind of come back to toilet talk. And I know it's a bit childish humor, everyone, but I know there's people out there.
It's funny. There's always an endless weird topic.
Yeah, you know us. We always got to have at least one weird topic to talk about. Like, I mean, come on.
If you don't like it, hit like and subscribe anyway.
Yeah. But, I mean, I do have, like, one quick weird story, right? And it has to deal with the water. I was swimming along one day. And,
I saw this turd.
No, I was, I was doing laps, right? Head down, or like, I was like one of those Olympic swimmers, just going with my cousin. We're having fun, splashing around. And it was like one of the happiest times of my life. And then my face hit something. Dare I say, it was a diaper of sorts, but not a baby diaper.
Oh.
And let's just say it's a bit of a feminine diaper. It smacked my face as I was swimming along the beach. It was the nastiest thing alive.
Oh, I was going to say, hopefully the chlorine maybe cleaned it a little bit. But if it's at a beach...
No chlorine. I was tainted.
Well,
the day right there.
if it makes you feel better, it wasn't poop.
Was it used? I didn't know. I freaked out. I thought it was the nastiest thing that has ever happened to me. And I tried splashing it away, right? Because it was attacking my face. I was like, ah! And I was like freaking out. It was like attacking me. And I was like, get off! I was like, ah! I didn't know if it was like a shark or some sort of, squid trying to attach to my face. And it turned out
or maybe it was a shark attack.
I didn't know what was in it. It could have had any sort of residue or logs, as you will. or as Junior put it, shart. I don't know. I was afraid. It turned out to be, feminine product. It was nasty. Just because it touched my face. How did that even get lost? I don't know. Who in the right mind was swimming? And here's the even weirder part. All right, you ready? We were like the only family at the beach. And none of the females were in the pool. So, or in the beach. So we're like, or in the water. I mean, like, how did that happen? I don't know. So
Beach is nasty, man.
apparently.
Public places are nasty.
But you know what? We had a good first episode. I think it's time we need to wrap things up. But we had to wrap it up with a weird story. All right. We had to. I hope you guys are enjoying this new layout of the podcast. Again, we were a bit rusty. If we talked over each other, we do apologize. We're kind of getting used to this. Also, we don't have like monitors, so it's like we can't necessarily hear like ourselves as well as the other people. So that way, getting those sort of.
A couple times when Junior was talking, like I couldn't hear him, but then I noticed his circle had a green line around it, so I was like, "Oh, he's talking, but why can't I hear him?" So that happened with both of you guys a couple of times for me.
Yeah, this is a new territory for us, in layout, in platforms, and as well of recording. We're hoping to get back to the studio so that way we all could record just as normal. But be prepared for this season. It's going to be a lot of big, wonderful.
I think I'm going to be doing some carry-out deep dish for dinner tonight.
He's been inspired, as have we all. I really hope you guys enjoy this. Please leave a like. Please subscribe. Please follow us over on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud, whichever you may prefer. I have definitely enjoyed the first season. I'm excited for the second year. We're gonna have more episodes. We're gonna have more consistency, more crazier, more fun topics, as well as interesting topics, and giving you guys our sort of takes. And we do say that, please also follow our sponsors. Check them out. If you need any XLR cables, EBXYA is your people to go to.
Well, they got more than just XLR now.
Yeah. And as for Adam Stone, check him out. He's got a new song out currently, because we're pre-recording this a little bit early. But check him out. He has new songs. He's probably going to have more to come. He made our song, and I hope you guys enjoyed the new theme song and the new end song. But yeah, we love you.
Even if you don't like deep dish, we still love you.
Bye.
I don't, we don't fully love you. Just a little.